know, welcome all my aliens, apes, and zombies. I'm going to invite up my co-host here, Avery Piper for Spaces.
Yes,
And
indeed.
I got a screen up, so I'm going to plug in a creature here. I think I'm -1.
No, but I think if I accept as co-host, I have to have like some sound come through, like no matter what, my phone. Does that make sense? You ever run into this issue where like if you want to just be on spaces but not be speaking,
Uh,
you can be muted. Like I can mute it and I can be on as a listener, but if I'm a co-host, I might not be able to do that. Like it might be playing out loud, and I have to I only have one pair of headphones,
I hear
so
what
I
you're
think I can't. Is that all right if I'm just a listener, or do you
saying.
need me to be a co-host? I can
Yeah.
be co-host. I'm not sure if that increases our visibility.
No, you got that. That's all good.
All right, keep me posted. Um,
Speaking of posted, retweet this. Retweet the room. If you look up at the top, I think it's up at the top of our room right here. Oh, maybe not. I was gonna try to pin a tweet up there of what is going on. In there's that. I gotta get it right there. Aha! Now we go. All right, so you can actually see what we're talking about here. We're actually not talking about anything yet. Um, but let's see, I'm gonna get a creature going on here. You can go into crypto creatures and you can play as
oh wow.
a crypto punk. So, oh, that was a horrible start.
That's a great start, Noah. That's a great way to start. It shows the world that you're human. You're not just a
Yes,
CryptoPunk, but you are human. And also, it shows how to play the game. So if you're just
this
successful
game,
the whole time, nobody will know actually how do you fail at the game.
this was one of the first crypto punks, if not the first crypto punk in a game. This was an NFT created, or an NFT game created a while back, and they were able to reach out to me to see if I wanted my crypto punk to be one of the skins on it.
Oh, that's so
You
good.
had to, when you go in there and you go to the creatures, there's a whole bunch of different creatures. If you type in like a different number, a different creature pops up. So within that, they gave me -1. So that's kind of like this hack mode
That is
to
hack mode.
have
You wouldn't
my
think to
own.
put a negative number.
Yeah, and I see J Wagon in there listening. Thank you for listening, my friend. And I'll be on Storyverse tomorrow, and it's kind of something new that's happening within the CryptoPunks. Is Storyverse is going to be having CryptoPunk stories coming out, and I have this great writer, Adam J. Epstein, and he's really excited to kind of learn about the Web3 way. And he's been not listening tonight, but he was on prior listening and claimed the POAPs from the Novo show that we been streaming here on Sundays pretty regularly, and he's really fired up just to kind of see like what's going on in the space, because right now a lot of his friends are writers and within the writers guild, and they're on strike. So I mean, these are weeks and weeks and weeks without paychecks, that these aliens, apes, and zombies are just not getting. And they're trying to find and figure out the ways that they can, maybe find some equality within this world, and they're just doing it through Web3 access, and trying to find ways, just like Adam J. Epstein is writing for a storyline for Crypto Novo, and it's going to be pretty neat what he's envisioning, what he's going to be writing here. And I guess AP, why don't you introduce yourself, since I just started talking and playing video games, and what's new with you, my friend?
Yeah. What is new? I don't know. You know what? Lately, I feel like I've been a little more, slightly more observant. I feel like on Twitter, I think there are definitely things moving in Web3 world still. I think there is seeing a lot of threads, some negative energy. I feel like there's some opportunity for people to talk about maybe big failures that are going on, or I saw news about Recur shutting down, things like that. I think there's a lot of, there's still a lot of hectic feelings, or what's the word? I guess, some mystery or uncertainty is the word about what the future holds for a lot of big companies. And at least for me right now, I am kind of observing and seeing what's up and seeing where I can fit, especially in the world of apparel and t-shirts. So that's a long-winded way of saying that I make t-shirts, and I'm continuing to make t-shirts for my project. It's called 214. It's also the brand that I have. But yeah, I'm super excited about making those, and I'm thinking about ways all the time, especially now that I've had the opportunity to now work in the retail world. I work for a really, really popular Japanese sneaker company predominantly. They also make clothing, but I've been really, really lucky in the city. These are one of two retail stores for this company that exists in the US, and then there are hundreds and hundreds throughout the world. So it's kind of like a microscope or a viewpoint into the world of fashion, especially outside of this country. But anyways, so I'm thinking all the time about how I can implement, and this is a live business meeting, Novo, as you like to say. I'm not sure if I'm speaking for too long here, but the live business meeting being that I'm super interested, especially with my limited t-shirts that I make, which are very much like a tattoo on a t-shirt, the ability for me to leverage that in a way so I can maybe in the future create a scavenger hunt or create the opportunity for people to buy at different boutique stores throughout New York City, have to find these t-shirts, and then maybe there's a prize at the end too. But maybe I'm getting ahead of myself here.
AP, how about we do this?
Yes.
Let's bake this into a Storyverse storyline. I think that'd be cool. I want to say what's up to Mikey. Mikey, professional wrestler.eth. Awesome. Glad for listening. J-Bon. How this show's
man.
If you're listening, you can watch right up top. Look up at top. It's the Novo verse there. Oh, I pinned it up there twice. I thought I did it only once. Oh well. I guess twice is better than not at all. And it's actually visual representation. You have myself, Crypto Novo, as an AR filter. You have great friend Avery Piper from the 2 and the 4, which he was just speaking about. His physical shirts, which have one letter of a seed phrase on it, and they're being distributed amongst people like G Money, people like Quinn Button, people like the Cashologist, good friends like Ryan, people like Seafood NFT,
DJ Metatron.
DJ Metatron, yeah, he's usually a listener. He's probably so there's great things that are coming to and from this space from many angles, and one of which is I just want to do a mic check with Dr. Doge. Dr. Doge, can you hear us, Dr. Doge?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What's up,
friend? Dr. Doge, been a minute.
Yes, it has, yo. So I've got the headset over here charging. I'm about to get it going too in here.
Sweet, we can hear you good enough, I think.
Good. Yeah, I'm on a regular headset right now, so I'm just got my screen and everything like that going. Yeah, I was trying to pair, man. I got the link and I seen it, and I was like, yes, I've not seen that restream link in ages. Let's go. Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah. How's we spaces too? Would that be easier? Is the audio
wherever you wanna jam in, whatever's easiest for you. It's good hearing your voice. We got a bunch of people watching live right now on YouTube. We got some people watching on Twitch. You can also watch in not even called Twitter. Actually, if I look up at the top in my name, it still says Twitter. It's twitter.com/Crypto Novo.
That's interesting. Sometimes it jumps to. Let's see what it says for mine when I look at mine too. That's a good call, though, Novo. I think that's possibly the reality we're living in. Still.
Yeah, it's still up.
Yeah. Let's see.
But actually, it's X Spaces we're in now. I mean, we're not even in Twitter Spaces anymore. But Dr. Doge, good to have you back, my friend. We got to get hardwired in. We got to get linked in with at times to get the transmissions out there. And the restream is live and direct. And I actually want to pull into as a tweet over here, and you were saying about things kind of changing a little bit. AP is changing of the guards with the brand ambassador for CryptoPunks.
Oh, that's right.
And, that's kind of a release statement. When was it? It feels like forever ago, but
Yesterday.
it was
Yesterday.
19th. Yeah, actually, look at the date. Yeah. So another kind of event in the space
Yeah.
that. So, what are your thoughts about it? I'm gonna pin the tweet up there here real quick. Why don't you talk about it a little bit here, AP? What are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Sure.
Initial.
Yeah. And initial thoughts were that I actually really respect. I think Noah's viewpoint, and I think to be honest, that first of all, I think that role is extremely difficult to have. I never really got to spend time with Noah, and didn't have a lot of context for like his day to day operations, and I really wish I had some opportunity to chat with him, and I would love to chat with him in the future. So if he sees this, would love to chat with him, and I'll DM him. But I think the role itself is really difficult. Like you represent. Especially guys like Novo, who are like super, super organic, like guys who had CryptoPunks before people knew what these were. And I think to represent that holistically, both from the side of Yuga, who really want to make this historical artifact forever that goes in museums. That was their modus operandi, and also I don't know, to like hopefully be innovative in some way, right? Not just have these be historical artifacts, but hopefully make something to where people are building IP, and Yuga is really supporting that movement. And I think Yuga has definitely done that with apes. We've seen that with Built by Apes. But anyways, I'm going on for a little long here, but I do think that I really respect Noah, and I also respected the reasoning that obviously he's leaving. Anybody can have any reason to leave a job. I don't think you ever need to really you never need to explain yourself. Is what I mean. But Noah, especially explaining that, he has a kid coming on the way, and he really wants to spend time with them and like spend time with his family, and that's his priority. And no job will ever be more important than that. I think we can all agree, and we all probably feel the same way about our families. Like if anything had to happen where we lost a job but we were still with our family, I mean, there's really no other way to do things. So, anyways, I respect it. I think it's a big deal because Noah was the first, right? He's the first guy after Yuga acquired um, the CryptoPunks IP to really take it forward. So I wonder what the next steps will be. But what about you, Noah? What's your thought? You were closer to Noah, which is interesting. So I wonder if you have a different take.
I was really close to him. If you're looking in the video screen right up top, and J-Bon, this is maybe something that you might want to start thinking about. Is I can restream stuff on Monday's show if you needed to put up something in there, but it's actually me behind the scenes in Miami with Beskar X and Noah, and he invited us in, and he's just honestly just a normal dude, and he was excited to show off that he was able to get a Warhol next to the CryptoPunk in the museum here. And this is like, we walk back there and it's like guarded, and they're like, hey, what's this clown doing back here? You can't just like walk him back here. And always it's like, don't worry, this CryptoPunk's with me. And it's just like what he did to build the best opportunity for CryptoPunks globally and have them as museum pieces, as he sometimes says, sometimes CryptoPunks are the mature adults in the room compared to the Bored Apes. Not saying there's anything wrong with Bored Apes, but like different styles of trying to get the word out there to different collector types. And the best way to do that is present them and give them to museums so they can build a culture and build a space around them and show it off. And that's a good way of onboarding people, is get it into traditional art museums. And what is a traditional art museum nowadays, quote unquote? I mean, they show tons of art. It's not just painted art, but we're blessed here in Chicago to have the art museum that has just rooms that are dedicated to stained glass and sculptures, and the list goes on and on. So it's just the next frontier of what's cool and what you're just going to see in like everyday life. So it's not going to be something where it's just a one-time thing where, I mean, they donated thousands of dollars towards these museums with these digital assets, and I think it's really cool. And for those of you listening right now, you can look up at top, and it actually has myself taking a selfie next to a Warhol, next to Noah, next to Beskar X, which is another CryptoPunk, and in Miami. And it was just man, that was one cool party. Man, that was one super cool party. So with that, back to the underlying thing with, it does take transition. It does take, I myself being in the Web3 world, as you well know, AP being a coworker, I did get burned out. It does get taxing because there is no end to it. You can constantly just go all the time. Like you can really, Twitter doesn't end. What you can make in micro content doesn't end. Areas that you can get to as far as trying to establish yourself in certain places. Either individually or trying to meet people in a group setting. Can honestly just keep going on and on and on. So, sometimes you got to pump the brakes, sit back, relax. And even prior to that, I mean, we got to keep in mind that he's been going hard at Christie's too prior to that and did all the onboarding and CryptoPunk sales at Christie's. The first time I met him or he met it was when Justin Aversano's Twin Flames were for sale in New York. And I walked into Christie's and there was a slight hesitation, and which, justifiably so, because here you have a CryptoPunk walking into maybe a traditional auction house. And eventually he came up to me and he's just like, hey, Crypto Novo, like some of the people here at Christie's like wouldn't mind like taking pictures with you. Is that all right? I'm like, mine, like that's awesome. Like, heck yeah. And like, cause like maybe their traditional clientele might not be as inviting towards that, or, like, I don't know. And they thought it was something cool, and they didn't know or really understand, but they were learning. And obviously they knew what NFTs were because that was the big thing that week. But then all of a sudden, they have almost a mascot of the NFTs walk in. So like he was very inviting, welcoming, awesome through all of that. And, when I heard when he first got that job, was extremely excited about it too. Because I knew that it was going to be pushed in a proper direction and someone that was going to be close to the community. And that was like one of his main focuses, being a community member within that. And Doge is trying to get lined up. You see him, you see what Doge is doing right there. So my friends listening at home, our good friend, Dr. Doge, he got displaced by a hurricane. Which one was it? Help me out here. I guess you can fill us in a little bit better. He got displaced by a hurricane. Probably like 18 months ago, 2 years back, Panhandle, Florida area. And pretty much, man, lost a lot, including his house, and finally got reestablished into new residency. So he's just trying to iron out the Wi-Fi, but he was hopping in there in Unreal Engine, Epic Games in VR, and it was just looking like he was walking in almost in a situation similar to Fortnite. And back to Fortnite, the Nike swooshes have a backpack with some Nike Air Maxes that I'm running around in Fortnite. You can watch out. You can watch on some of the YouTube Crypto Novo 311, where it is myself and some friends running around and getting game winners, getting the golden crown. We had a couple we finished the last one you'd watch that's live. I think we finished in second place. And yeah, now we're running around and we have Nikes on our backs. And those are all from the swoosh campaign by Nike. So we're seeing the spread of exactly what Dr. Dozer is predicting, is tidbits that people can make and start pulling into video game access to a game unit near you. What else you want to talk about, AP? I know we didn't really have an agenda because we're just kind of quick firing it. Evening.
Yeah, we talked about a lot. I think this. Oh, and this is something you reached out to me about, just because I was a holder of this token. But I guess the WAGMI United situation, I think one interesting thing you make me think of, especially when mentioning Noah, is just the idea that it's extremely difficult to coordinate, especially Web3, I think, events and I guess minting is an event, but coordinate that in a way that's really organic for a community that exists already. So even in the case of CryptoPunks, which are Web3 based, which are kind of the basis of a lot of Web3 communities, right? They represent the first of, for a lot of people. I guess the idea that CryptoPunks needed an ambassador that represented them well, and that was a CryptoPunk. And the same way that I think is important for a community that currently or already exists that is outside of Web3, that is becoming a web or being the tool of Web3 is being used alongside it, which is the case of Wagner United. And I think both require quite a lot of background and support from, in your case, or in CryptoPunk's case, Noah's case, CryptoPunks. And then in the case of Wagner United, it's actually needing the support of the original fans behind the token. Because I think one issue is that Crawley Town already existed. There were already fans. A lot of the fans didn't know about Web3, weren't onboarded to Web3. And it's kind of like, imagine being sidelined by new fans that just are obsessed with Web3. Maybe they just want to make a quick buck. Maybe they love football, but they don't even know about Crawley Town. And now this happens, and it's like a big crossover, and it's really difficult to manage that. And that's one thing that I think people thought about in the very beginning when this started to happen. But we didn't actually realize the full, like, and this is the same way that baseball or basketball or American football is so like deeply ingrained, especially with certain towns and throughout the U.S. The same way, even more so in a deeper way in terms of European and Latin Americans football, like soccer. That's so huge for their like people's culture all throughout Europe and UK. And the fact that I think we were trying to cross paths here in terms of a Web3 world, but not with the fans, is kind of like, it was a crazy idea. So they're working it out. Let's see what happens. But anyways, I'm just talking just generally about what that makes me think of. But I do think it's a really tricky world. And Wagner United, as you have pulled up here, did make a statement which says they're not going anywhere. But, we've had to make changes, and we did a really successful merch launch, which is, I think, very true. Talking about some highlights, I think it's going to be difficult if you make something Web3 based that already exists beforehand with Web2 fans and you don't onboard them or give them a free token. It's a very, very difficult way to manage. So,
yeah. And the same, and on the same area, like, people outside, probably including myself, could have supported the Web3 community a little bit better. In the sense that, like, hey, we do have squiggles on affiliated soccer jerseys on clubs. Like,
that's huge.
Support the cause. Have that take off a little bit. Like support. Support what you believe in within the space, because I don't know how much it costs to mint one of these, but if it is only a couple $100, you're spending that anyway on jerseys. And if you wear that out in the Web3 world, you're going to get some credibility in there. But I guess some of the surprising things is like some of the larger names that were attached to it. That's just like, at the same time, is just maybe didn't have time for it. Maybe just bypassed it.
I think it's a cultural thing. And that's really important to say, is like, it's difficult for even Americans to understand, I think, the importance that, local teams have. It's like a farm team in the US, like farm teams for baseball. Like, they have really, really hardcore fans that have been fans for 50 years. And these farm teams have existed to help support, and they've seen people become big leaguers from these farm teams. And it's like, it means a lot to them. And I think the fact that, people throughout, there were some people based in the UK that are directly mentioned there on that page that are investors. But I do think it's crazy. Like, we need to embrace that a little more, in my opinion, even as Web3 together. Like you're saying, like, it's about support. It's about understanding. It's about knowing where you're coming from and what you're trying to build with the fans that currently exist in that ecosystem. So it's difficult. It's a difficult way to navigate. And I think we might find that that difficulty exists, I think, for the rest of the time that Web3 exists as a novelty without it being like a direct utility thing that will be taken off as, using as tickets or being a supporter of a team. Like, once that becomes commonplace, this will be normal, and then fans will be buying the tokens. But beforehand, we need to support a little better. So I think that also lands on us, like you were saying, Novo. It's not just about just getting their fans, but like it's also about us supporting their fans.
Because what if it was like a Ted Lasso
Yes.
situation, and like one of these or one of these names do make it big, and you have his rookie Adidas jersey, and it's attached to like minting online, and like all of a sudden he is next to Messi, giving the assist or getting the header in the championship match for the MSL in Miami, and it's all it takes is something like that. So one thing I know about this is, and especially with blockchain, is not dead. There's a company behind it.
100%.
There are strong people behind it. There's a league behind it, and if Crawley Town FC, starts winning their conference, then it starts turning heads, and then people start filling the stands, and then it does change.
Totally.
It changes quickly. So I like it. I'm
Same.
rooting for
Wishing
them.
them luck, and yeah, we'll support as best I can.
I kind of want to get in on it too. Like I try to I'm even trying now thinking, because there has been people from soccer type people that have reached out. One owns a coffee. Yeah, there's a coffee. The goalie Freddie, he's a soccer goalie from Seattle, I think. And for Freddie, I can't remember his last name. I could probably look it up, but just stuff like that just leads to hopefully inspiration, and hopefully they get it getting kicked in the right direction.
They will. I think I definitely have some trust, and I think they will. They're a team that's been around for a long time, and they'll exist, and they'll make this work. It's just definitely a hiccup. A lot of hiccups happening, a lot of hiccups. Anything else to note? I know a lot's been on your mind, Novo, with stuff. I'm trying to look through a little bit of my feed just to see anything else that came up that was huge. Let's see.
Doge, you trying to open up a world there? What are we digging in there? You're an Unreal Engine, right?
Yes. I just rebooted everything there, and it's running a lot smoother. So, yep, I'm about to open up one of these projects here that I've been working on, and yeah.
Oh, Novo. Oh yeah, sorry, Doge.
Oh no, you're good. I think I was cutting in and out a little bit.
We heard you perfectly.
Oh, cool. So it's coming through mine. That was a little bit choppy. Let me get this other headset. This is my earpiece. There we go.
So tomorrow, you can, let's see if it's on J-Bonds. I'm digging in J-Bonds Twitter handle here, I think. I'm gonna try to and see when the spaces is for tomorrow, which yes, I'm gonna pin it on the top for Storyverse Spaces episode 17.
Can't wait for that, Novo. I'm hyped for that.
Pin up on the top there. Yeah, it's coming together quite nicely. I'm looking forward to having a storyline of not really it is of Crypto Novo, but not like my biography. It's just like a totally different written storyline through Adam J. Epstein, who is a writer, a successful writer that writes preteen wizards and warrior type of books, and great mind. And I just can't wait to see it all come together, because we have a great concept for a story that all weaves into just some fun good old fashioned choose your own adventure that will just be talked about more and more as Storyverse releases CryptoPunks. And Doge, we have you on the live page right here. We have, if you don't mind, we have your desktop on there.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah. And we have cinematics and 5.2 within your Unreal Engine. And what Dr. Doge is definitely a master of is creating different world situations, scenes, characters, skins, what are they? Skyboxes, which is like the globe, which is the settings that they live in within Unreal Engine. And if you've been able with your time off of line, I guess sometimes being offline might be helpful, because you can really zero in on maybe the finer tools of creation within just the circuits of your computer. Were you able to zero in using Unreal Engine to, make your craft even more better than it was?
Oh yeah, yes, definitely. Can y'all still hear me? Coming through good? Okay,
Yeah, I
perfect.
hear you perfectly.
I definitely like time out of the headset has been, at least for me, I guess you'd say needed. I was getting to that kind of point where it was probably like, yeah, you might need to go touch some grass soon, given circumstances, whatever else. It has been pretty good. I'm still able to get in and do things like I used to. I messed around and deleted my whole cache of stuff from Neo. So it's like, you pop into worlds and it takes a minute to load sometimes. Yeah, so that's been finally getting everything back loaded to that. But no, Unreal has definitely let me fine tune, I guess you would say, that whole the 3D side of it more so than the virtual, right? Like a little bit deeper understanding of how things work, how to make this move just without using your hands, stuff along that nature. And you'll see here, I got some stuff loading up. But shout out to the game too, like how he does it, and Bogey and Gary and people like this. I mean, we've been they've deep dived into Unreal here lately as well, and just different aspects of it, right? I've always been kind of more towards that, like I said, like you see here, this world, the cinematics wise, or the filming and photography in the world, setting up things and worlds and scenes. Whereas some of these other people have been, they're more on the coding side of things, more deeper into the level of that. And so it's been pretty awesome to get learning new shit, I guess you'd say, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely been it's been awesome. As crazy as that sounds,
So it
having
looks like you're getting lower extremities to move a little bit more. It looks like, yeah, you're really, man. You've really
oh,
been crushing it, man.
thank you.
Spider-Man skins, you see it
Yeah.
in there.
And I think Mayor's gonna, Mayor of Matic, right? Like he's
Yeah, of
so yeah, so
course.
I'm sure he's been in touch with you a little bit, and I don't. It's in the scene here, but I'm not. Oh yeah, you see, there's Gary. We got Gary going inside of Unreal, and like that was his first one, his first ever animation inside of there. We've got it
Wow.
set up.
This
Yep,
one.
yep. And that was just a matter of like an hour or so, man. If that, just getting him
Wow.
set up. He got it in, ran him through like plugins and different settings and different types of projects that they have within it. And yeah, I mean, if you've got a general knowledge of 3D, like whether it's Blender, most other software, Cinema 4D, whatever, 3ds, all this stuff, it's somewhat similar in that aspect. I mean, they're all kind of the same, how they work overall. But yeah, it's being more of a game engine than like an actual like rendering software like Blender and stuff is, or a creation tool. Yeah, it's been awesome to see that. Oh man.
Yeah, if you want to watch what we're talking about right now, you can go up to the pinned tweets, swipe to the right once or twice, and it'll go take you to the Novo verse, which is Paris Shilton NFT. And we're digging through Dr. Doge's. Well, it's not a Twitter handle anymore.
Yeah,
His X
handle
handle.
man,
I don't
yeah.
know what you call it.
It's yeah.
And you don't call them tweets. I guess you call them posts. And so within there, you're able to see like how refined you can get, with different people. Chillin' Chilies and what they, get in there with their chili peppers with how he does it. Or you can just get, really prime coloring with shade and light and reflection on there. Even going into floating around here in space. Hopefully not like the lunar landing that happened. I actually crashed into
All
the
right.
moon.
Yeah, I've heard about those,
Yeah.
man. That's kind of wild. A lot of wild stuff
I
going
always
on, man.
I always wish for the best of luck in anything that is outside of the globe, that does better for mankind in general. And the research could have been had from anything that landed on the moon. Great for it, but that sucker just crashed,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
I'm telling you, look, this is the sooner we can start getting, you just scroll through. Look, you even see him, look at that chili. You see the Spider-Man, you see the Void, you see all these other things, right? We just need to start, controlling these avatars by means and just sending them instead of real people. I'm pretty sure it's coming soon. Straight up, That's what the Tesla bots are going to be for. But yeah, that's a different story,
Mhm.
different day. But yeah, it's
Now you got me on a whole like lunar lander binge, Novo. I'm looking at all of this like old 60s and 70s stuff, all these old photos of the lunar lander. Looks so awesome. I wish I was on the moon, man. That'd be so much fun.
yeah.
Little piece from the rest of the world.
You know what they say about the
That it's
moon?
made of cheese. What do they say?
You can get high. You'll get high and never come
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, it's certainly a dangerous place, unforgiving place. Not as much as Mars though, and the moon's fascinating, man. The moon's fascinating. Supposedly, yeah.
And that's like one thing that I think that really got me excited about this Web3 space is listening to oh man, I'm drawing a brain freeze right now. Upside down glasses.
Oh yeah,
man,
Mongo,
is one of
Mr.
my
Mongo.
yeah, Mr. Mongo
Yeah.
is like he always preaches that like you always dreamed of going to space, and then like you maybe you reach a certain age or a certain thought process, you go down a certain career path, and you're like, you know what, like I can't go to space, like 10, 15 years ago it'd be impossible to go to space. Right now Dr. Doge
He's
just
in
pulled up the
space.
moon,
Yeah.
uh, and before you know it, you get a chance to he participated and was able to make some money, and was able to be get into becoming an astronaut to go into space, and he has a ticket to go into space now. He's just kind of just waiting for his turn. So that's just like kind of cool, where like something 10, 15 years ago would almost be unfathomable, unless you're a NASA astronaut going through the rigorous training and this and that. But through technology, science, things becoming cheaper as far as space travel would be, I guess cheaper, I don't know, from trillions of dollars down to
Right.
billions of
Yeah,
dollars, I
billions.
guess it's cheaper. More and more people are able to go into space. The other kind of crazy thing to think about, hold on a second while I get a sip of water, is more people have been up in space than have been down to the Titanic.
That's insane.
That's a
Yeah, I
really
didn't know
good.
that.
Wow.
And I don't know what the exact numbers are. Maybe AP can pull them
I
up.
can.
But like I think it's kind of like even like way off. Like I think there's like dozens of people that have been into space, and there's only like a handful that have been down to the Titanic. Like
I mean, that's wild. Other than the original who
It's
perished,
crazy.
yeah, in the Titanic. Yeah, I think that's a wild thought. I mean, they say the Earth is just as unexplored as the rest of the universe. It's like the this ocean is like we're discovering species all the time, and there's like deep depths of the ocean we'll never be able to travel to, at least in the short to medium term, just because it's so deep and it's so dangerous. And there's things there's a shark, that I keep seeing highlights of this shark that got found off of Newfoundland, so close to the Titanic. It's called a Greenland shark or something, but these things are like 500 years old. These things can, they've been around, or they can survive for 500 plus years, and it's insane. It's like there are species which we are still exploring and still finding out about. So that's exciting to me too. Is like as much as we think we know, or the Earth will never be boring to humans. I think, especially with the lack of travel that I've had. But yeah, we'll never know ourselves even as much as we feel like we do compared to the rest of the universe. UFOs, that's a good dude. That's a big one.
Yes.
The oceans are so big.
Yes.
Anything could be living down there in that ocean.
I've got a theory, right? Just a little bit, and people of whatever. Right, this world's loading up here. This is a museum one. But this is my theory.
Doge, we haven't talked about the UFOs since all the Congress
I
stuff,
know.
and like, because I've been my whole life, I've been looking to the skies and seeing more and more just reality surfacing around things that we just have no clue about. And that's the stuff that people are seeing. I believe there's stuff that you can't even see, like that are just way more advanced
Well,
than us.
you think about it, like, all right, they just had that, in, even here recently, where they, the whole thing in front of Congress, they come out and pretty much, just like, there is definitely some shit out here. Well, I don't think it's a coincidence that just a few days after that, all of a sudden you're talking about they've got these crash craft and things, whatever, all of this stuff proof, and then you find out we now have successful tests on room temperature like superconductivity, you know, things like this. And then it's
All of a
starting to be,
sudden, right?
all of us. And then now you're starting to have it replicated within days all across the world in different labs from different countries, things like this, people perfecting that. And then on top of just other stuff, right? Obviously, I don't know, maybe it's getting a little bit too much hope, but look at this. Since 1939, bro, there hasn't been a freaking hurricane, whatever, in this
Yo,
side
yo,
of, like,
yo.
yo, what's up?
What's going
Yeah,
on?
What's
What's
token.
up,
happening?
Yeah,
Surprise!
I got the ding.
Good evening.
What's up,
What's
brother?
happening? I'm just, I'm literally been chilling in the metaverse.
We're talking UFOs, my friend. Go figure.
Oh, that's funny. I found a couple recently.
No, you're
I'll,
up there.
Nice.
we might as well go check it out then. Well, if you're down.
Let's do it.
Okay, so
Do it.
let's see. I'll share
Yeah,
it in
gotcha.
the
All right. So for those of you, we have JR Token who just tuned in. You can look alive ahead, right up on the top in the pinned tweets, and see. Oh yes, you can share your screen. Hold on a second. Let me get you up in the green room here.
It's funny. I
And
was just talking about this with Jeff Staple the other day.
you pulling
Yeah, I listened
Burning Man?
to it.
I hope my audio is working. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I saw it.
yesterday.
Listening.
We can hear you good.
I might be a little lagging right
It was
now.
amazing. Yeah, I heard a couple minutes of it.
Oh well, I could hear you guys crystal clear. But yeah, I was talking about the first time that I met Crypto Novo, and so this place should look really familiar to you.
I was like, I don't know.
This is Burning Man, right? This is Burning
That's
Man.
right. This is Burning
And
Man.
we are
So
and we are in VR. We are definitely in VR.
we were in VR. That's right. So we were in AltSpace VR, which was basically like this VR app that was acquired by Microsoft, and the Burning Man community. We ended up doing something called BRC VR, Black Rock City Virtual Reality, which was like the Burning Man VR experience for the pandemic. There we go. Got some Novo action in here, looking good. I like your avatar. So anyway, we ended up building like kind of replicas of our camp since there was the pandemic and we couldn't really go do anything else. And I had this, and this is where I met Novo for the first time, where he came up to me, but we were inside virtual reality. This is basically like the same space, just modified and on cyber, because alt space is gone. May it rest in peace. I lost Novo. It's a very big space here.
No, I'm over by the van.
Are you by the van? Oh, I see. Yeah. So funny enough, there's even history about this funny little van over here. You could fly around here because it's so big. But anyway, we ended up making the virtual reality like digital twin of our camp, and then the year after is when I met Novo, because it was featured for like a virtual conference or something, and they're like, hey, we're gonna do tours, and Best Car X said, hey, I want to introduce you to this guy named Crypto Novo. He's my best bud. He'll talk about crypto and stuff a lot. I'm like, oh, okay. And we started hanging out right here, and he goes, hey man, this place is so cool. This place is awesome. Can I buy this? Am I able to like mint this? And I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? Like, this is, I don't think so. It's Microsoft. They won't let you buy anything. Like, there's no way to buy anything. It's just here. And it's also Burning Man, so you can't sell stuff. He's like, all right, cool. But your avatar looks so cool. Like, can I buy what you're wearing? Like your wearables? I'm like, no, but that's an incredible idea. Like, you should absolutely be able to purchase what I'm wearing. He's like, yeah, well, I I got land in Decentraland, and I'm like, oh my God, like this sounds pretty cool. So it was that moment that we started hanging out basically here, a little bit of a different platform, but basically this place in VR, and that's where I met Crypto Novo for the first time. So now what you're looking at is actually it's reborn using OnCyber and their latest build tools. So there's a lot of new features. For instance, you could sit in stuff, and you could do this on mobile or desktop or VR technically. This is again a camp called Vagabonds and Tagalongs, so it's like a place where we have pictures of all of our people who actually get together in real life. Burning Man is happening actually. It's just people are starting to build out there this week. So what I'm in process of doing right now actually is making a POAP, which as you can see here, this is actually will be the POAP. Made this Vagabonds and Tagalongs Burning Man 2023 POAP. And so that is they're asking me to propose why they should let me have this POAP. So I'm right now debating with the POAP gods and doing forums and stuff of why. But
Token, can we have
yeah.
a Burning Man party like next Sunday? Is it going to be live next Sunday?
Oh, yes, it is going to be live next Sunday. It's going to be incredible, and we should have a party here. Let's get some DJs. I'll actually, well, that's something we could do a little. You want to? I could share a little alpha tonight, if you wish.
Yes.
Like now.
Yeah.
All right. So if you look at my screen, then if it's sharing correctly, is it sharing? Yep. Can you all see? All right, cool. There's a lot of new feet.
Yep.
Okay, great. There's a lot of new features this time. It's much bigger. There is what is called the famous trash fence, which is outside at the outer perimeter. There is supposedly Daft Punk shows playing at the perimeter. And so one of the things at Burning Man is these temples, and this is actually a 3D model I was able to get off of somebody who actually went there and took a 3D scan of it. These burn down every year. But what I ended up doing with it this year is actually making it a shrine to commemorate one of our dear friends who lost her life earlier this year, Kelly Daniels. And she was like one of the founders of our camp. Super fun, amazing unicorn spirit, and use this, on cyber, this space, this technology, 3D assets to be able to, make really a more permanent shrine for people to come see some photos, listen to some really interesting audio from a previous temple, and kind of get a little, hopefully, a spark of what Kelly was. And I think that's a really
Hey, Token, go over by me and stand next to me. I will take a selfie here, and I'll try to get some tweets. If you don't mind. Sorry for interrupting you.
But yeah, so this is what we're, one of the great uses of this technology is the ability to, share these moments, make these spaces.
Save these moments too, because like this gets burned down, you don't see it. I didn't know what it was.
Yes,
what do they do?
Absolutely. And in reality, this temple, they build it and then they burn it down. And almost everything at Burning Man burns down. But obviously, blockchain is something that's more permanent. Not that any of this is on chain. These are just actual photos I've pulled in from our campmates. So a lot of this was not on chain, but that's okay. It's still being used as like this great digital immersive space to do that. But a call out to everybody listening in is that just like at Burning Man, there are these expansive, what's called the playa, and there's these 3D art objects, and I would love anyone who wants to share their 3D art. If you have a GLB object under 30 megs, hopefully way smaller, but you're welcome to come and share that. I'll place it here within the playa, or I could give you access to the space and you could add the art yourself.
Token.
Yeah.
Token, can you have Doge, or Doge rather, can you drop the Novoverse to Token?
It should be under there. It should be under there. Yeah. Let me find which one's my folder it's in. I can do that.
No rush.
Oh,
You don't have,
nice. When
you
you
don't have to do it right
find
now.
that, I can just place it. We could place it live.
Heck yeah.
I don't know what that stage was back there, but forget that.
Oh no, it totally fell off. What's this? down here?
Oh, what did you find? Are you spying on some alpha? Is that what you've stumbled upon? So just so everyone knows, when you come here, there's other things to do too. Like you could go into these portal potties, just like at Burning Man. When you go into a portal potty,
Wait,
magical things happen.
Wait, pause a second. A portal potty?
That's right.
I love
Yep.
that.
So
Oh,
each
brilliant.
of these
Straight
take
back-
you
straight back
to
up.
each of these portal potties will take you off to another on cyber destination.
You don't have that? Sorry, I'm having fun. Where do they go? Your other ones? Hold on, I
Yeah,
gotta get on your
they go to all the good ones. We'll put in special ones, you know. Happy to put in partner collab ones, but Novo, come find me. Where are you? You got to come towards like the find me at the middle of my camp. I'm on the dome.
I'm underneath your world here.
Did you fall out all the way, or are you in? Let me see where you're at.
I fell all the way through the
Well,
world.
come back, refresh. Don't try to get. Oh, you made it. Oh, good for you. Okay, I'm proud of you. Good job. Look at that. You got to be careful here. You could fall straight through, but you know. So come to the middle. Find me in the middle of the camp, and we could share the alpha together.
All right, hold on a second. I'm in the beanbag lounge.
Yeah, I'm in the back. Go in the back.
Right.
Back by the portal potties. It's up. There we go. So this is a brand new addition and something I could only have done really with the on cyber update with the builder tools. So you know, something I've always wanted to do in the real Burning Man was to make an underground club, but that's highly illegal because you can't dig in the ground there. So I actually ended up using Kami, who's an artist in our camp, gave me her art as actually I bought her art as an NFT, but she also let me use it for this, and I made a wormhole of art, and then takes you to a cool place. So as they say in Burning Man, safety third. Bye, Novo. Go down. You got to go a little bit further. A little bit further.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, what is happening?
Yep. And then, as I mentioned and promised, UFOs. We got a UFO crash landed here last night. And you know, this is Burning Man at night. So you get parties. We got a UFO up top. So it's a UFO intergalactic space party.
I hang out with some of the coolest people in the space. This is sweet.
You like this? Because you haven't seen this yet. So yeah, so this turns into a nighttime. I would say we should have our party here in the, you know, night rave. Yeah, and then I got this thing, which is like this trippy, spinny gravitron. It's the weirdest thing and makes me want to hurl, but it's cool.
Wow.
But yeah, we got art. You know, again, anyone who wants to donate some art to the playa, please, you're welcome to. So that's one thing I wanted to share. But yeah, let's party for sure. Everyone's welcome. We'll set up a date. We'll have POAPs galore. Hopefully, it'll be cool.
There's the UFO crash landed right here.
You got a live one. They'll pick you up and take you to the rave. It's yeah, we got it. Not bad, right?
I don't even have the sound on right now, and I'm just enjoying myself.
I know that's what it's about. That's Burning Man, man.
When is the actual Burning Man? Is it coming up?
The building has already commenced, although they're getting hit by the hurricane, and it's wet, which
Yeah,
is not
well,
good, and that stops everything. Hopefully, everyone's safe from this crazy hurricane thing going on the West Coast. But that's starting to impact a little bit of the organization of it. But everyone's starting to trickle in, and it's going to go pretty crazy. Starting as early as this week.
hit a earthquake too, didn't they?
What? I didn't even hear about that. I wouldn't be shocked.
I think California had an earthquake today as well.
I mean, these
5.2
guys,
or
as you can see, are already
5.5.
partying at Burning Man, so they're good.
Is this a live feed?
Yeah, that's live. That's live. That's live.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane, man.
But yeah, that's my little metaversey stuff I've been working on. So it is now
Just
launched and
little
live,
metaverse?
and
You're creating ridiculousness here. This is crazy.
I got to take it up a level. Yeah.
You brought up 10
I
levels there.
say-
How did the chat go with Jeff Staple? I didn't have a chance to listen to it.
Well, it went pretty awesome. So if you don't know what he's talking about, big thanks to everyone. I know a lot of listeners and followers of the Novoverse helped support, but there was a contest with Jeff Staple in the Stapleverse, which was it's called the Magic White Tea. And what was so awesome about it was that you could basically purchase the way it started is you could purchase it was at $5 ETH plain white tea, and this would be something that would go onto the Sapiens, which is the PFP. You could see in that what you're sharing right there with the purple hair. The Sapiens are like an evolution of the Stapleverse project, which is a really cool evolution, actually. If you've been following, I was talking about it with him, actually, how me and Novo were kind of like started very early in the Stapleverse ecosystem. There was a drop 2021 pretty early for these Stapleverse meta pigeons, which were these like awesome pigeons you could get for $1 on this app called Network. And I think there was a couple of other ways to get them. You had to also what were those sneakers that you had that were the staple crypto sneakers? Like, weren't they artifacts?
Those are artifacts, yes.
What were they called?
They were just the punk collection.
Yeah,
or,
Artifacts Funk Collection.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Well, that had a connection to the meta pigeons as well. So because of us basically aping in to meta pigeons and the fact that you had these also the sneakers, what we have 18 vials of Clonex.
We had 18 Clonex vials, and it was very minimal.
Which
to
really
get
took us
buy-in.
on quite a weird journey and fun one at that. So anyway, part of that was also getting into his like Hood Gang collection, which was is really fun. I don't know if people know, a lot of people know about it, but basically it started off with like this pigeon feed, and you get all these things that pigeons eat on the New York, floor, from Subway token, cigarette butts, syringes, condoms, pretzels, nuts. It was pretty funny. Oh yeah, that's me. Look at that. So, yeah, his the pigeon is like a key piece of his whole thing. So anyway, he ended up, continuing that project into a PFP project, which is super fun. And that's the Sapiens. And it was like a cool use of technology because it's a little new. It's using 6551 contracts, which basically means that those NFTs act as its own wallet, right? And you can store things within those NFTs. And what he's doing is he's starting to have those so what you're storing these NFTs in, these Sapien PFPs, is all the clothing and kind of like these items that you can have.
Like wardrobes, and then
like
you can
that. like a
The
bird.
chain.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
bird that could be that or that, and it could, and then you could update your sapiens with it, and it's taking us into like these interesting journeys. So one of the things he had was this magic white tea, and I'm like, cool, of course, why not? For $5, let's have a little fun. And I got a white tea. Then without, I didn't expect this, but they said we're going to do a contest where you could design a T-shirt for the magic white tea, and if you win, it'll be basically the tea. That's what will go on all the white teas. It'll update the metadata to the design. And so I'm like, oh, that's really sick. That's awesome. I'm gonna give it a shot. And I did, and they put everyone into like the 16 bracket, combat, and it was pretty dope. And I ended up winning. It was not easy. I needed the Novoverse and followers for some major vote power, and you brought it. So huge freaking thanks to that and to all of you. But I won, and then we got on a call Friday for the office hours, and it was kind of freaking mind blowing, to be quite honest. I didn't even understand half of what was like, what's going on here. So, one, uh, right when I won, all the shirts updated with my design. That was sick. So I have like over 600 people with, or 600 items, I should say, with my design on it. That's updated on chain as a trait, as metadata. I love that. I think that's just so cool. Just proliferating into the blockchain, and then
That's
it's
awesome.
pretty fun. And then now he announced that this is going to be real. And so, we're now collaborating on this. And what's really fun is that this T-shirt is going to be, is now available. It's the first item available actually on his website. And I just sent you the link if you wanted to pop
Thank
it.
you. Pull it up. Give me 1 second.
So it's the first T-shirt on there, and what I really love about it is it's going to have what I told everybody I wanted it to have, which is a IYK NFC chip in the sleeve.
Yeah.
So you could see there, I don't know if does it let you zoom in a little bit? So right there, what's going to happen right underneath the Sapiens logo in the sleeve will be a stitched in IYK NFC chip. And when you tap a phone to it, you'll be able to distribute a token. And what we were talking about is distributing
You'll be able to
feathers. You could pluck a feather.
feathers. Nice.
Yeah, you'll be able to pluck a digital feather because, well, what I found out is that not only is this the thing, but I'm going to be collaborating to make like another item of clothing more aligned with him. We were talking about all different stuff. We talked about, I mentioned how we chatted about toys, pigeon toys that you could tap, or we could even do more apparel, like something, up-level degen style you could wear to a wedding or a business meeting. Pigeon shirts, I don't know. So we were talking about a whole bunch of stuff, which was really cool. But it will be a digitally, connected shirt as well. So it'll be distributing tokens. It'll, as I wanted it to, help spread that magic. We haven't defined exactly what that is, but basically pre-sale is happening now until September 1st, and then that's a wrap. And then we're going to see whatever the journey takes us next. So pumped about this. It is so cool. There's going to be more folks coming aboard, so there's going to be future collabs. They're going to be able to come in more creators, more artists, more just really community members like myself, who have a desire to get a little creative and have a little fun and get involved with their communities. So this is fun stuff, and if you want to get on board, come aboard. If not, that's cool. You could, maybe I'll let you, maybe me or Nova, when you see him at the next event when he's rocking it, we'll let you pluck a feather if you're lucky.
There you go. Take
Maybe
one of the
maybe
It says, shout out to J.R. Token for claiming the victory. J.R. Token will work on future collaborative designs directly with Jeff Staple one-on-one. This is a pre-order item. That's right. It will be closed September 2023. And it'll be shipped out at the end of October. Man, Token, that's crazy.
Freaking mind-blowing, right? Like, what the hell? It's crazy to me.
But it is. But you've been playing the game since the get-go. You've taught me about it, showed me off about it. So it's definitely deserved and earned right there. That's for sure. That is so cool.
Recycle that Novoverse energy into the Novoverse vortex. It works. Just believe.
Here we go. StaplePigeon.com, and then has a / products.
You could go right to StaplePigeon.com. It's like, I think it's right at the top. It just pops right there. So
yeah,
it's the thing, which is cool.
That's awesome. Oh yeah, it is. Bang right there, man.
Is that pretty? That's pretty gnarly, is not? Look at that.
Yeah.
Cool with like pretty solid fashion.
Any ideas? We're LinkedIn. We started off the show before you were LinkedIn here, Token, with AP talking about his endeavors in the apparel world, and man, it's just cool to see all the cool. Speaking of cool, what do you have here, Dr. Doge? You have your museum?
Yeah, I see a little Unreal Engine. Oh my goodness gracious!
Woo! Oh yeah,
that looking crispy.
Blending a little stuff in here. I also sent the one that I had, the actual straight up file that Mr. Dingia sent me a little bit back. You remember the original, like that?
Yeah.
I've sent that straight into you, and I do believe to you as well, JRR. Yeah, and this right here as well, the Novo head. So this thing that's right here, yeah, you should have that in your DMs as well. If you, oh yeah, just
Yeah, copy of the GLB. I have that in Discord. Thank you. And what is this, the clown nose section of your museum here?
Yeah, we're gonna make this. This is when Beeple, and I thought I put a Beeple piece out before Beeple did, because I just made this. But yeah, I got some, little bit of this, some of the things that he did, some of the artwork that I've made, some that Holidays made. But it's gonna be filled out through here, and you can see it's kind of a whole different ones. I've got some bolts over here that I'm working on getting them, and there's the key sword and the Voyagers, some chilies. So yeah, this is gonna be a pretty cool render when I'm done. Yeah.
Oh. Well, maybe we'll have to do a gallery hop, and I'll get that VR headset in next week.
Yes.
And we'll hop in here, and then I can just go right into JR Token on Cyber, right? I can go on Cyber and VR, right? From the VR laptop.
You should be able to. I've been struggling a little bit, to be honest, myself, but I think everyone depends on what the headset. It's all different.
Yeah. If not, bang, right on the computer, we can do that. I'm all about that. That sounds pretty fun to do. I'm going to wrap it up here in a second here, my friends, because I got an early rise tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll be on tomorrow night as well, Storyverse, talking about CryptoPunks a little bit further. They always do a little news recap. And I just want to keep on keeping on in this space. We will have some shows coming up probably a month from now with End of the World Pizza. They're going to be having a drop going with that. There might be some whitelist opportunities to get yourself a digital, physical comic book. There will be whitelisting opportunities to get onto the Storyverse minting. And then we also, which we spoke about today, is just go to the StaplePigeon, to get the the Stapians magic white tee. Man, it's actually not bad. $50 with the chip on the shoulder, and you can get around just popping tail feathers to everyone. That's pretty cool and interesting.
Thanks.
And there might be
I try to make it, a good bargain.
It is, man. That's pretty good. Get it out there, get it distributed. Just like the Wagner United jerseys, get those out there, get people talking about it. Just even if you don't know what it's truly all about, just help the cause. And it's just some cool stuff, cool threads. You'll figure out the technology. It's pretty cool to walk around and show it off. AP, anything else for the good of the order, my friend?
No, just big congrats to JR. Like, it's so massive. That's so much fun.
Thank you, buddy.
I remember you mentioning, talking about how you kind of hadn't explored this part of your abilities. Like, you had always been a designer and creator that way, but like the fact that it's now on a, in such a significant, even on a historical level, but such a significant artist collaboration is huge, man. So
yes,
congrats to you. And yeah, I'm excited. I'll definitely try and cop a t-shirt before the new month. And yeah, man, can't wait to be rocking that. That'll be fun.
Gotta get that, pigeon fly.
Yeah, man.
Dude, and the whole definitely a huge congrats. And like you said, if you ever see you in public, man, I don't get out to many public events, but that whole plucking a feather, whatever this is, that's pretty genius, dude. It's pretty, yeah, it's pretty awesome. So this is huge congrats.
Token always pushing the envelope, always showing us the alpha. But let's just have us a party next week, and we can just run around your build. And on Cyber, we can pump it up. We can get some POAPs going. We can get here in Dr. Doge's Unreal Engine and VR as well for maybe a little pregame and see how he continues to build in the space. But I appreciate you, friends, for coming on this Sunday. Kind of short notice too, but it's fun just to come on and hang out and just go after it. And for the great listeners, TA Miami NFTs, Gonk Foreign, thanks a lot. I always tweet you every single day. Thanks for those GMs right back at you. Not ETH, thanks for listening as well. We had WWE wrestler listening prior. J-Bond Wagon will be on Storyverse with myself tomorrow. And I guess that's it for all my aliens, apes, and zombies. Stay positive and love life. Peace. I got to queue up some music or get something going. We need 6. That's what we need. I'm missing 6. All right, we'll end here and that.